Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully complete our attendance report, and now in this video I want to discuss about all student result. So friend, concept will be just like that same. Before I have successfully completed our employee attendance report. So now I want to work for our student results. So if you want to do that work, first of all I want to create one of the menu in our sidebar. Now let's do that work. Okay, so here I remove everything, and now I want to do that work for our another table. So that is our sidebar. So to the sidebar, first of all, that is our li. So I want to create another new li, and after that I paste it. That will be as a student result. Okay, so this type of one of the menu name I want to add, and I also want to create one of the route. That will be as a student, and then the result view. So make it as a student and then the result view. So this type of one of the route we have to create, and also I want to update that for our active link. That will be as a student result view. So now let's create this route. Now go to our web route, and after that better I copy it. After that in our this prefix, so that is in our report prefix, right? So into the report prefix right now, that will be as a student result report route. Okay, so now I want to update that our route, that is our route name as a student result view, and now I want to update this name, that is our student result view, and then also that will be as a student and then result and then view. So for the student result view I want to create another controller, so that will be as a result report. Okay, the result report controller. So this type of one of the controller I want to create. So first of all I want to create this controller. That will be also in our that is report folder, right? So into the report folder, that means in our backend there is a report. Here I want to create this route. So if you want to do that work, we have to go to our project. So before I have created new one, so right now that will be the same. Okay, that means in our backend into the report folder, here I want to create our new controller. So I have already named it. So that is already that is a result report controller. So here I want to update, that is a result report controller I want to create. Now click as enter. Our controller created successful, and after that we have to support this controller. That means in our report, that is our there is a result report controller, we have to support it in our web. So into the web area, first of all, after this, okay, after this report I want to paste it. That means in our report folder, now I want to add that our result report controller. I copy it, so that will be as a result report controller. So now we are able to use this one, right? So perfect. So here right now I want to use this as a result report controller, and into the result report controller I want to create one of the method. I want to create this method will be as a result view. Okay, so this type of one of the method I want to create in our result report controller. So now let's do that work. Go to our result report controller. Here I simply create one of the method as a public, and then function, and then our method name, right? So that will be our method. So for this student result, that is actually connected with some of the database table here. Right now we don't need this. So here it's connected with our if you go, that will be right now we don't need this. So that is actually connected with some of the table. We have to get some of the data from our class. That means student class, then student year will be needed, and there is student mark will be needed. So friend, that is actually pretty much if you go to our project, in the project I have already completed this part, but I also want to share these things with you again. Into the employee, if you go to that mark management, into the mark management, there is our marks entry, and there is our marks edit, right? So maybe into the account or into the report, you can see into the report area I have already created this part. There is a mark sheet generate. Okay, so into the mark sheet generate, that will be just like that same. The concept will be just like that same. Here if you select as a year, if you select as a class, exam type, and after that if you select as an ID number, then if you search it, then it will be displayed that total details, right? You can see that is a total grade. Everything will be just like that same. So now I want to load these same things to one of the PDF format. Okay, so that is actually the same things. So better I want to do, here I want to load our year, the class, exam type, and then the mark sheet. So I want to load some of the table. I want to use that all that model. So right now from here I want to copy some of the model. Okay, I copy also with the PDF, and right now we don't need this. And in our result, that means the result report controller, here I simply load it. So I want to load some of the model. If you go to that as a model folder, that is actually our model folder. Into the model folder right now we will need that is our student year. So the year will be needed. I copy it, so I simply add that year. Okay, I add some of the table, so year table will be needed, and then our student class table will be needed. So that will be as a student class, and after that exam type table, that type table will be needed. So I use also as a exam type, and then student marks. Okay, that means if you go to that student marks, so that is student marks, right? So that is the marks. Here I have already created all that relationship between the user table, assigned subjects, which I have already discussed about that things with you, friend. So now I want to also use it as a student marks. So that will be as a student marks. Okay, perfect. So right now that will be enough. So I have already load our student year, student class, exam type, and then student marks, and also I load that PDF. So now in our into this method, the procedure will be just like that same that we have done before. I think it's not should be hard for you. Like I take as a data, and then I take one of the variable as a years. Years, that is one of the variable, and then with our student year. I want to get all the data. Okay, I want to get all the data. Perfect. And also I want to do the same things. I want to get all the data from our class, and that means from our class, student class, and also I want to get all the data from our exam type. So I name it as a exam underscore type, and that will be our variable. And then for the class I name it as a classes. Okay, that is a classes. So I take every data and take the things with this all that variable, and that is our data array. And after that I simply return one of the view page, that means the return, and then view, and then in our backend. Okay, into the backend, that is a report folder. Into the report folder I want to create there is a report folder, right? So into the report folder now I want to create another folder, then it will be actually better. I name it as the student result, student underscore result. Okay, and then into the student result folder I want to create one of the folder name, that means the file name as a student result underscore view. So this type of one of the file I want to create, and then I pass it with the data, that means all the data I simply pass it on here. Okay, so I simply pass it. Perfect. Now in our student we have to create this folder in our report folder. Into the report folder I have created one of the new one as a student result, and then into the student result I want to create one of the new file. So here there is a report student result. Here I want to create one of the new file and name it as a student result view.blade.php. okay, so that will be our page. Perfect. So friend, that will be just like our as I told you, marksheet view. If you go there, there is a year, there is a class, there is a exam type, and there is our ID numbers. Okay, so that will be just like our mark sheet. That means your mark sheet. Right now I copy everything. There is a mark sheet view page. I copy everything, and now in our student result, that is our view. So here I simply paste it. Okay, so that will be just like that same. I only want to change it. There is a manage student result. Student result report. Okay, so that will be our name as a student result report. and year will be the same. Here you can see I have already get that all that year data. I take the things with this variable. So before I have used that as the same as years as year ID, and I name it as a year ID. That is our also year ID, and then the class. So that is everything is in our marks actually table, which I have already discussed about that things with you. If you go to our student marks, that is our failed job, that exam type, and then you can see there is a clear student marks. So into the student marks, you can see there is year ID, the class ID, assigned subject ID, and then the exam type ID, and then the marks. So right now I want to actually name it as appropriate our database field name, year ID, class ID, and the exam type ID. Okay, so here I have actually used the same name, the class ID, and also from to this position I pass that as a classes. So that is our classes. I name it as a classes. So the class, our class name should be loaded, and after that there is our exam type. That will be the same. I take that with this variable as exam type. So that is our exam type with the exam, right? So here we don't need to change anything. Only there is a ID number. I have used it before, so right now we don't need this. I simply remove this column. Okay, I remove it, and then there are submit. Okay, then the submit. Perfect. Now if you click the save all, and now I want to check it. Now go there, click as a refresh. So now I want to access the new menu as a student result. If you open it, yeah, you can see all that our ER is now successfully loaded, all that our class is now loaded, and then all that our exam type is now loaded, right? So that is our search button. Better I want to put on the padding. And that means here that is our I put on the style as a padding top, and I make it as a 25 pixel right now. Okay, I make it as a 25 pixel. Click as a save all, and now if you go there, click as a refresh. Yeah, it's now perfect. So friend, I hope you understand that part, what exactly the things we have to do right now. Okay, so here we have to select that year. After that, if you select as a class, and then select as the exam type, and after that if you click as a search, then it will be load one of the PDF. As I told you friend, that will be just like our that is a mark sheet generate. Okay, so that will be just like that same. So here I think it not should be hard for you. So here we apply the same concept, only we get that before with the ID. So right now I want to know, I don't want to use that ID. So that is the simple things. Okay, so right now that is our manage page, that is our manage student result report. So here if you select as a year, class, and then exam type, and after that click as a search, that means there is one of the type as a submit type, that is our form. So now we have to create this one of the route, right? And that will be one of the get method. That means in our route, into the route area, I want to create one of the route name as a report student result get. So this type of one of the route I want to create, and that will be also targeted with our new one, right? That means a new tab. Now go to our web route. Into the web route for our student result report, I want to create one of the new one. That will be as a this route as a report student result get. I copy it, and here I paste it. Okay, and I only want to change that our URL will be as a get. That means student result get, and I want to create one of the route. That means our method will be as a get. That means the result get. So now we have to create this method in our result report controller. So now let's do that work. Now go to our result report controller. After this I take as a public, okay, function, and then our method. So that is our method. So into this method area we have to get all the data. So we have to pass that as a request, and then the $request, right? So I think sorry, not that required, that will be as a request. So that will be the request. Perfect. So friend, better I want to continue this process. In our next video we'll create our this method, and from here I get all that our data, and then I will load it with one of the PDF file. So how can do that work? In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.